So we have Wales 18, South Africa 23. Finally, South Africa come out on top in this tight tussle in the rain. My goodness me, Wales fought hard and were ahead for a lot of this game, but in the end, just a bit too much power from South Africa, and finally they started finding their kick chase game. So let's get into this game now. I'm clearly not going to be describing a lot of flowing running rugby, but it was tight and tense. So plenty of kick tennis from the start, a case of who blinks first. Both sides fiercely contesting the breakdown. They're exiting well. It's pretty close. Good hard attack from Wales in midfield, and they did carry a lot better in this game than they did against the All Blacks and made much better ground. They go to a 10-metre line out from a penalty, but then Quagga Smith, good turnover. Pollard clears. Quagga Smith, really good all game, possibly the pick of the South African forwards, even though he is the smallest. Wales were clearly trying to use Adams a lot, went through a mountain of work in midfield as a big hard runner, and I think he actually went into 13 as well. Louis Rees-Zammit goes for the corner, but there's a load of South Africans there to bundle him into touch on 8 minutes, but there is a penalty advantage, so it's Wales who take the lead 3-0, and well deserved for a well executed start from Wales in the rain. But then South Africa comes straight back and level it up on 10 minutes, all launched from a massive kick return carry from Vermeulen. So they get the kick from in front, 3-all. But it's Wales that comes straight back in with the lead again. Great bigger kickoff. McNichol goes up and competes nicely as he did a couple of times in the game. Immediately forces the penalty 6-3. Real clever stuff from Bigger. He actually picked the right penalty advantage for his best shot at goal. He is certainly very savvy. And this was very much Bigger's game. Wet weather, kick chase, executing well, grinding hard. Really impressed with him. But then they give the point straight back to South Africa again with a nasty drop from Wainwright. Gives South Africa a scrum, and a massive scrum from South Africa wins the penalty. And I believe every single scrum South Africa had to put into, they won a scrum. And, you know, that's really hard to win a game like that. But Wales nearly managed to get away with a win, even though they were getting smashed in the scrum. Certainly in the first half, there weren't many scrums at all. That helped a little bit more in the second half. Anyway, then we go through a period of pressure from South Africa. Top tackles from Mbonambi diffuses Wales' pressure and they launch their attack. Wales are too early in the line-out drive into the maul. Another penalty. Go to a 10-metre line-out. Another penalty. 5-metre line-out. Big drive from South Africa, but it's Ellis Jenkins that comes up with the jackal, and they really relieved the pressure well in this first half, Wales, when they were right under the pump. Jenkins leading the way with a brilliant game for him. So that's great for him coming back from that injury with a big game. Now, it's not pretty, but it is intense tussle. You can see the crowd are right into it in the rain. Anyway, 25 minutes, big error from Herschel Jantjies, box kick out on the full. Only just, but it was a big error in the context of the game. So Wales take the lead back, 9-6. And making a note at this point, Thomas Williams had a really good kicking game. Occasionally his kicks haven't been great, but you know, he's known for his running, but here we saw him executing his kicks along with Bigger. They definitely had the better kicking halfback pairing of the two, with I'd say Herschel Jantjies not overly great, Pollard pretty decent. They changed Pollard in the second half for Elton Jantjies. I have no idea why. This was absolutely Pollard's game all over. I'm not sure, you don't have to use your subs. But anyway, on 29 minutes, Wales attack very fierce. Big carries again, making that ground. Bash them with a big carry, and then South African tackling goes a bit dodgy, mainly through Oxenchae, who goes for a high tackle on Tompkins, and if he didn't like him enough, went in for a body check on Tompkins as well, just to finish the job and get himself a yellow card. So that was pretty bad from him. So Wales go 6 points up, 12-6. And finally, we see a clean break on 33 minutes. Really good footwork and pace from Diolande, who goes through. Grubber nearly falls from a Pimpy, but Wales scoop on the ball and tidy up as they've been doing all so far when they're under pressure. South Africa aren't finished though. A powerful maul forces a penalty, goes for a yellow card for carry through multiple penalties rather than the actual penalty being that bad. Wales make a mess of the South African maul, and they were really good at mucking up that maul, not so much counter driving it, just making a mess of it. Wales intercept and clear the lines. And yes, I made a note at this point that it's just unbelievable dog and scrap from Wales, even though South Africa clearly have an edge in the maul and definitely have an edge in the scrum. They are absolutely fighting for everything, and keeping that 6-point lead in the crowd is loving it. 38 minutes, 2 minutes before half-time, South Africa get the ball deep into the 22, but a 40-metre clearance kick from Adams relieves the pressure. Wales have nearly cleared danger completely, but then a nice jackal from Khaleesi gets a shot at goal. Nice kick from Pollard. 12-9 at half-time. Super tight, super exciting. Into the second half, South Africa get a scrum straight away, and Wales, unfortunately, is still down to 7 men. So definitely a penalty from that one. They go to a 15-metre line out to the maul. Wales disrupt well again, and Pollard puts up a really rubbish crossfield bomb, not very imaginative, so Wales clear their lines well. South Africa think it's time for the bomb squad, and on they come. Kitsoff, Marks and Mr. Incredible, and they do make a bit of an impact, certainly in the scrum. And then Steyn looks to light it up, who definitely was South Africa's best back, I'd say. Lovely kick return from Steyn. Sets Am free down the left. A couple of chips. They go to 2 metres out, but brilliant, epic defence from Wales. Force the turnover again and clear. I think it's Jenkins again there. Not good enough from South Africa, but just fantastic defence from Wales. Hanging tough. Then it goes 15-9. What a shift of momentum there. They get a penalty, so that is brilliant stuff. But then straight comeback, South Africa with Steyn again, and it's from within their own half, about 54 metres, I think the graphic said, and just boom, knocks it clean over. That's impressive. Back to 3 points, 15-12. At this point, every scrum is an easy penalty for South Africa. They go from that penalty, they go to 20 metres out. Of course, they go to a line out. Wales' defence is ferocious, but then don't release at the ruck. So the penalty goes to South Africa, and it's finally back all square after all that time, back to 15-all. What a tight game, could go either way. And now Wales have a good period of pressure. They have South Africa pinned down in their own half. The South African defence is massive, but they keep the ball, work it wide to Williams. Looks like he might be in, pass maybe not quite good enough, and also a pitch invader maybe just disrupts him slightly, and he gets some serious abuse from the Welsh crowd for possibly hindering that. I don't think he would have scored, but anyway, not good to see. Penalty advantage though, so Wales go back ahead, 18-15. No, it looks like it could be on. Wales are winning the kick-catch game still. But then Reinach, who's on as a sub, I think a better player really than Herschel Yantes, makes a break from nothing from deep. And somehow from a kick, Etzebeth gets the ball. It looks like it's a try to Mapimpi, but no. The ref says they don't retreat from the kick, so no try given. 10 minutes to go now, possible South African try there, and Wales immediately go back on the attack from that penalty into the 22, but they can't score. Then Mapimpi really steps up with a fantastic catch off a box kick, gets them into the 22, go to a 10-metre line out, big maul, and finally it is unstoppable. Wales can't make a mess of this one. Marks goes flying over. 18-20 with a kick to come, and it's just an awful attempt from Elton Yantes. Not sure why he's on. His kicking is not that great. Could have lost them the match, doesn't in the end. But anyway, finally South Africa winning this kicking battle in the last 10 minutes. Go into the 22 again. Go to the corner, which is a bit weird. Is it to wind the clock down? Surely they should have gone for goal, or maybe they just don't trust Elton Yantes kicking. That's possible. Go to a maul, 2 metres out, but big D from Wales again wins the penalty. So they have a chance. 2 minutes to go. Can they get up the pitch and get a penalty to win the game? And the answer is no. South Africa do force them back, concede the penalty, so South Africa kick that. So the final score is 18-23. So just an epic fight there. South Africa were probably too good in the end. Wales will be gutted. Not sure about some of their subs. Would definitely have kept Bigger on for sure, but I think they just ran out of steam at the end. The bomb squad from South Africa, maybe a bit too good. The likes of Reinach as well, really good impact. So I think South Africa probably deserve it in the end for dominance in some areas, but Wales hung tough and could absolutely have got that win. Anyway, better from Wales certainly, but it's still a loss. Let me know what you guys thought of that game, who played well, and I will catch you next time.